everyone, and welcome back to the Unbothered Podcast, where we chat about America's fifth sport, MTV's The Challenge. And today we have a guest co-host with us. He is back again. We did a collab with him during All-Star Season 2, and we loved it so much, we wanted some more. Welcome back, Malik from Love War Challenge Podcast.
Yay! What's really good, Unbothered? Very happy to be here. These are always some of my favorite things to do, so thank you again for having me.
Of course, you were so much fun. Like I said, the first time that we were like, we got to do it again. And what a perfect time, because All-Star Season 3 is here. We're going to talk about episode 5. And it's an explosive one.
Absolutely.
Definitely some good stuff to talk about.
Before we start, I just want to start someplace in episode 4.
Okay.
Jordan and Nia, which to me, I hate. I hate everything about it. But it struck me that they think that we're stupid. It's in my personal opinion that I have no evidence to back this up with, that they have been fucking. This is not something new for them. They have been fucking. And that makes the whole little PR tour last year makes so much more sense. So much more sense.
I want them together and I love it. And I wish they would get married and have babies and happy. But I totally agree with you. I think didn't she admit though that they had been, but I think she made it seem like it was just before All Stars, but I think it's been a while.
Yeah, she did say,
there.
I think it was on the Challenge Mania bonus episode she was just on. She did say they had slept together prior to the show and then it happened on the show, but they wanted to make it seem like this was the sexual tension finally colliding and exploding. And I'm like, we're not stupid.
It's so dumb.
We're not dumb.
I love them together.
Malik's like, not me. Is it because you wish you were Jordan?
No, I'm not a huge Nia fan like that. I'm not. Even though I think there's a place for her on the challenge and I think she can do a lot on the challenge. Am I a fan? No. But I'm not a fan of Jordan. I think Jordan is amazing at this. I think he's one of the most efficient challenge champions we've ever had. And he's a threat. Mm-hmm. If certain people in this game, if it's Jordan, Bananas, or CT or Landon is in the finals with you, you're most likely not winning. Yeah. And I can still hate him and admit how good he is.
Well, but accurate. Do you hate him because of his prior stuff? Like, don't you think he's better now? Do you think he's changed at all? Like, no.
One thing that really got me is, Nia, she made a couple of statements to the media. Her whole thing is like, allow us some grace to combat that. And that actually kind of hit me a little bit. And I had to question myself a little bit. I'm like, Malik, are you a hater? Is that what this is? Are you just a hater? And then after, some deep reflection within myself, I realized I am not a hater. I just don't like Jordan. But I'm willing to say on a personal level, I don't know him. But judging him from what I get from TV and what I get from social media, I choose not to like him. But it's also not my life's work to like him. I feel like I dislike a character on a TV show, If I see him in the street, I'm not going to throw paint on him. Some people got to learn that there's a difference. And I try to keep it superficial on the show, just like Jordan on the show, and I'll allow him grace that he may not be as bad of a person as I think he is on the show. I think people on the show are just kind of an extreme parody of themselves to a certain degree.
Yeah, everything's heightened. I mean, I wouldn't even say that I'm a Jordan fan. I'm a Nia fan, and I think they're cute together. So
fucking hell on wheels, those two.
Yeah. There's so much sexual chemistry.
Yeah, there is. I like Jordan better on All Stars so far than I have ever. I
would say
liked
so too.
Him on the main show, he's a little more chilled out, but still serious about the competition. And maybe they're just not showing it because, again, going back to Nia's interview that she did say that like her and Jordan got into a couple arguments because he doesn't know how to talk to people. It's not what he's saying, but it's his delivery. And she's like tried to, and I'm like, girl, everybody has tried to teach him on delivery. He still hasn't learned. It's been like 10 years.
I would agree with you a lot saying that this portrayed Jordan on this season. I find him the most likable. That's all I'm willing to say, because that's a lot for me at this time. But I would say he's
baby steps.
Baby steps. But you know what? I always felt like, me personally, I don't take a lot of this stuff too personally, and I always open
Yeah.
my mind to change. I hated Kyle for a long time, and Kyle has really won me over. Same thing with Maria a little bit. I ended up liking her a little bit later on, and so I just keep my mind open to, hey, you can change your mind. You know, I'm not married to none of these people. I can like you one season, dislike you the next.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
but I mean, in real life, you don't like every person that you meet, so you're not gonna like
No, even people who's my friends, I hate most of them. Like we just known each other for so long.
Yeah.
Like, are your friends gonna watch this and be like, damn?
No. You know, one of the reasons why I ended up on Challenge Twitter is because none of my friends watch the challenge. Every once in a while, I meet somebody who kind of watches, but nobody is really a challenge diehard like that. Like one or two friends.
I feel like that's all of our stories. Like, I think that's why we all do this.
After Frank and Bananas was teamed up and they're like, yeah, you guys got into it on Twitter. I'm like, they're on Twitter? Is this what Twitter's for? And then I come to Twitter around, Dirty 30. I'm just like, oh, this is where my people are. I never left.
I'm actually not on Twitter.
You're not missing anything. It's a fucking wasteland. But it's a wasteland we all intentionally play in.
Sure.
Some people on Twitter say that about Facebook. Some people on Twitter be like, oh my God, the Facebook challenge community, yak, yak, yak. So it's always funny when I see that division. And then, you could be on both, like me. I like Kayla and Cara. You could do both.
I think the Reddit community is probably the worst.
Everybody can agree on that. Everybody can agree on that. I did Reddit for like 3 months. I was just like, no, this just isn't for me.
So do you read spoilers?
Yes.
And you said you like Kayla?
I read spoilers and I forget everybody who doesn't win.
Yeah, same. But so
spoiler alert possibly coming.
No.
Did you not just say you like Kayla and Cara? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh. So do you know the spoiler about Kayla?
I don't. For this season?
I don't want to tell you then.
Well, you could tell me. I'm going to hop on Twitter at some point and see it. Thank you,
Spoiler alert coming.
Spoiler alert.
Fast forward 15 seconds if you don't want a spoiler alert. Kayla and Sam went home first.
Out of there.
That kind of sucks.
Not really. I was happy. I was giggling. I was so happy.
I hope it was really, really rough. I hope they didn't just lose some dumb shit. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, the whole.
Yeah, I don't think we don't know who took them out yet, right?
Yeah, this whole season so far is just a giant cluster.
Oh, you're talking 38.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that really would suck.
Yeah.
She was with her fiance.
Her husband.
Hubby.
Are they married?
Yeah.
Yep, they got married a couple months ago. Mm-hmm.
Good for them. Well,
yeah,
not so good. Not that they're out, but hey,
not
shit
yet
happens.
Season 38.
Shit happens. Well, we can talk about the season 38 stuff some more later if we want to. Even though the spoilers are all over the place, it changed. The spoiler people don't even know what the fuck's happening. It's been a shit show, putting it mildly. But we're here to talk about All Stars because it is episode 5. We are halfway through the season. I can't believe it.
I know.
This episode is titled More Than Friends. Wonder what that could be about. If you don't remember what happened last week, we saw Kendall and Darrell sadly go home in eliminations to Jordan and Beth. Boo. Beth is now in the game. She came in as a replacement. Immediately went into elimination because she refused to do the daily. Sent Kendall home. And now we're here. And we start out with Sweet Dear Yes, talking about the good guys can win. We can come together. I have faith. No. I
think with this whole thing between Wes and Yes, I think Wes perfectly nailed it on the head. Dude, you're full of shit, and we all know. And that's what comes off as me. I don't think he's a bad guy or anything like that. But this whole holier than now shit, it always struck me the wrong way.
I like Yes.
I do too.
I like it too as a bullshit maneuver. That's what I like. That's what I'm like at work. Work is just like, hey, we operate with integrity and taking care of the customer, so they leave. I'm like, man, fuck them. that's what I get from him.
You think he's faking it like in real life?
Not necessarily, but I think he's playing it up for the game. Like, I'm just so holier than thou, and I'm just gonna play it right. And it's just like, No, you're not. You want $500,000 like everybody else. You just don't want to seem cutthroat while you get it.
I think he might also be doing it just to further irritate Wes.
I think so too.
I can see that too.
I think he knows he gets under Wes's skin, and Wes doesn't usually let people get under his skin. So
it's like when, even though we don't really like to talk about him, that one British guy who is gross and we won't name really got under Wes's skin during the War of the Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he knew it, and he would just do it just to irritate him, because once Wes is irritated, he's irritated.
Yeah.
Another guy I just never really felt like that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when people
Wes
are exactly what you think they are. I love Wes.
Yeah.
Love Wes.
I really like Wes too. So like I'm here for the Wes versus Yes. It's perfect with their names. I mean, come on.
And I feel why Wes feels the way he does. The reputation he has doesn't exactly always line up with his actions. At least overall, in a big scheme of things. You know, he's this big manipulator and deal maker. And I feel like he's much more thorough than people give him credit for.
Yeah. He also enjoys playing the villain.
Like, I like Wes. A lot of people don't, and I get why they wouldn't. So with Wes, I like Wes, but I can see why people wouldn't, because he's cocky and, you know, arrogant and whatever, but he also backs it up, and he's funny.
He's absolutely hilarious. He's a showman at heart. You know,
yeah.
He plays it up. He's there to compete, but he's well aware that he's on camera. He's well aware of his reputation and how he looks, and he plays into that and even leans into it a little bit. So he really got it all figured out.
Yeah, his wife, she must be like the sweetest person and most patient person on earth.
Absolutely, to have to deal with Wes's stuff, because even though I think he plays it up, I think once again this is just a heightened version of his own personality.
Right.
And he's always willing. He's always willing to go against the establishment and make all of these deals. And for a lot of people, they feel that way because they're not included in them. He doesn't make deals with people who aren't going to be able to help him. His shutdown of Josh was really, really epic, only because he was so right. I'm not here to get rid of the worst player in the game. Right. And man, who says shit like that?
I'm glad he did though.
Oh God, I love it.
It was great. He just shot that shit down. I loved it. And sometimes there are certain people with certain polarizing personalities, like they'll turn off all those polarizing things when it comes to people they really, really love, like he probably does with his wife, because she just like is the yin to his yang type of thing. So he would never do to her what he would do to some of these people in a game, because he sees her on a totally different level. So she sees a different side of him. That's probably how she deals with it. I would still look at him sometimes and be like, what the fuck are you doing? And of course he's going to explain it off with some, 5-chapter explanation, because that's what Wes does. But it's okay. They are cute together.
With their dog.
Oh, I love their dog.
I know.
So after Yes gives his little, the good guys can still win. Not halfway through the season, you can't. It cuts to the treehouse talking about who Kayla's going to use her sabotage on. Let's be real. It's probably going to be Kellyanne or Beth, because
that train's never late.
Yeah, that's just how they roll. They don't change. God forbid there's John A, who just won season 2. We're just going to keep letting her slide on by, just completely ignore her. Let's target the people who haven't won shit. Smart.
Exactly.
Smart idea. Ronnie is still flying under the radar. She's playing this game very smart. She's using the Treehouse Alliance without really rocking too many other boats. Kellyanne and Beth are trying to have a powwow. Should we align up? The Treehouse took out one of our numbers. Again, you guys should have really all had this conversation 4 episodes ago.
You're 100% correct. It is so tough to watch these people who are OGs, who have played this game. You supposedly have been watching, this season this whole time. How are you older people, and mainly this is about Kellyanne and Kendall, who both people I love, the fact that y'all come in and y'all don't have the social aspect of the game down, or don't recognize an alliance forming and doing something about it immediately, you know what happens. These people are playing the game like they did a couple of years ago. The game hasn't changed that much. So being so ill-equipped to deal with it is really frustrating.
It is.
Well, and maybe it was also a little bit of, you know, they had already been on 1 and 2, and coming into 3, you have this group of like Lavender Lady rejects that are just mean and awful. Maybe they weren't expecting that part of it, you know,
Right?
Because I feel like everybody got along for the most part in 1 and 2.
Right,
So,
but once they recognize that they have a group, start grabbing everybody who's not in
well,
it.
that's true. Yeah.
Start grabbing everybody who's not in it, because what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
the only game. It's the only play to make.
Well, I
And
thought it was
Kayla-
interesting. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, after you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I thought it was interesting. You know, Kendall did Challenge Mania, and she called Derek out. Man, she was just like, You said my name. You didn't have to. You sit here and say I'm one of the best, but you still put me up, and
Yeah, she wasn't happy with him.
not happy."
But also, it's a game. He's in the
Yeah.
room with them. And
Right.
granted, they may not be in some type of formal alliance, but they're at least looking out for each other. It's the way the game is played. I don't think she should have taken that from Derek so personally, because I don't think that's how Derek viewed it. But, you know, I give props to Kayla for that. She's playing this game, and she's playing this game to win, and she's putting together the moves. I would be very surprised if she doesn't make it very far, or doesn't take the crown this season with the way she's playing, and she keeps ending up in a position of power.
Yeah. And I mean, I can imagine it's got to be hard if you're not good at turning off your brain and separating the game from real life. Like, you could take things personally. Like, when Kendall called Derek, she was like, "You're a follower. You went along with the girls when it didn't really matter if you went along with them." And I don't know. I always have this mentality that if I ever played the game, you know, in some fantasy world, unless I'm winning and I'm safe, I will always assume that I could go in.
Oh, sure. I feel like you should always think that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it they say? You don't have to get ready if you're always ready.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Don't get ready if you stay ready.
If you
Yeah.
stay ready, you don't got to
Don't.
get ready.
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
it. Whatever.
They don't
Y'all
do
got
that.
it right. I didn't, but you knew what I was talking about.
I'm in management. I say it all the time.
Exactly. And then, speaking of management, Wes comes in to Brad and Derek. "I'm so sorry for your loss," because Darrell's gone. He's like, "But I want to take Darrell's place. Let's all really band together and do this. We need to target MJ, yes, and Jordan." And of course, he's smart about it because MJ is the winner of season 2. Yes won season 1 of All Stars. And then Jordan is just a threat. You have
Jordan's
to take
Jordan.
him out
Right.
if you ever get a chance. He was like, "I told you all, Jordan is really a threat. I was not crying wolf." He took out
Yeah.
Darrell. He outlasted him, even though he was outweighed by Darrell. He is not one to sleep on. So they all decide to get together, and they're going to target some champions. We're going to see how that works out, because we know how
mean,
Wes is.
Wes consistently displays either really, really great or really, really poor judgment. And this is a wonderful move, a smart move. Click up with people who you know are strong and loyal. Put your biggest threats on the menu, which is going to be Yes, who's been targeting him, and Jordan, who's fucking Jordan, who might as well be Michael Jordan of the fucking challenge in some degree. This was not only, there was several moves to make here, and this was by far the best one.
There's a lot of really good guys, though. And you would think after, with all the people that have played with Wes before, that maybe they would target Wes.
You would think.
You would think. And Wes has been pretty good at having power, but being kind of behind the power, kind of like the Wizard of Oz a little bit, and keeping a lot of heat off of him. So maybe he's picked up some stuff, maybe from CT, who's learned to play these understated elder statesman roles, and he's got to keep heat off himself. Even though Wes being Wes just is going to generate heat no matter what, he's doing a little bit better of playing it off and not being as abrasive. But I mean, if you ask Yes, you get a different answer, but that's how I feel about it.
It also helps that Wes has some really strong friendships. He has Nehemiah, who's one of his best friends. Brad, who, you know, they've been in each other's weddings in the past.
Yeah.
He's cool with Derek, and him and Jordan have like this weird thing. Like they're kind of going for each other, but not really yet going for each other. So yeah, he's in a Wes is
respectful
in a good spot.
competitiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but Brad's a little nervous. Brad's
real
nervous
quick,
to play this game.
You brought up CT. Are y'all gonna watch the movie awards tonight? Because he's gonna like present. I think I'm just gonna record it and like fast forward to
there
him.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till the clip of him pops up
There you
somewhere on
go.
Twitter or YouTube. I've completely done with award shows for a long time.
Yeah, I don't watch him either. I was just gonna record it and watch just him.
Yeah. I'll wait.
Hope he wins though.
For the clip. Me too.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll
do that. Maybe I'll wait, just watch
male reality TV star, I think.
They have him on the commercial though.
I don't know if that should really go to him though. As much as I love CT and as much as he wins and stuff, we all love watching him because we all grew up with him, but I don't feel like he's the.
You're about to say.
I don't feel like CT is the draw that he is presented as. He doesn't make the most provocative TV anymore. He used to be can't miss, but now he's people's dad.
So who would you say is then? So who would you say is?
Of people make. I would say actually, in the challenge world.
Yeah.
Man, them Big Brother cats have been making a lot of noise.
I don't think they're as big of a draw. I don't think people watch for them as much as
I think people watch for CT, but I don't think CT is driving a lot of the drama that's on the show these past couple of seasons. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or say he's washed up. He's probably playing the smartest game he can. But
yeah. No, right. I get what you're saying.
We still need the challenge still has to have some level of messiness, which say what you want about Josh, he fucking provides on a daily level. I know.
Yeah.
But who else is going to do it? Fessy?
Oh, he is messy Fessy for a reason.
I don't hate Fessy as much as other people. I don't. I love watching him. Yes, he's
okay.
Man.
I love watching him for all the wrong reasons.
Apparently.
I can't.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't either.
Challenge.
You can't watch a show of 100% people you love. Got to have people that hate too.
Well, I want people that I love to hate, not people that I just
I'm
hate.
okay with that.
Fair enough.
Yes, that.
I like that.
Bananas I love to hate. And like, again, this is just, well, okay, I don't like Fessy in real life either. I have met him, don't like him in real life. But most of the, individuals, it's just I don't like them on the show.
Right.
So honestly, more than anything to me, Fessy is just, he's actually truly boring. Boring. And like even in person, he's just boring.
Is he going to be on this new season?
From what we hear, yes. Fessy will be on the new season.
Wait, what was that?
Very interesting. Actually,
some girl named Mariah.
If it's not Carrie, then I don't know.
It might be Big Brother related.
I don't know. They're bringing in like influencers, which is a crock of shit, and then a bunch of people I've never heard of.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys a question. As podcasters, are you guys worried about your future workload with all of these challenge shows coming out?
Well, I don't know. At the same time, it opens up more avenues of opportunity.
That's a very positive way to look at it. For me, my problem is looking at it as from the time commitment angle.
Yeah.
I'm like,
whoa,
4 reality shows? Like shit, I only watch one. I only watch the challenge. The only reality show I watch. I watch more than one.
Well, I mean, honestly, we haven't really pursued other avenues, but as a podcaster, like Nadine probably agrees with me because we both watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I would love to interview some of the queens, and that would move us into a different realm of reality for a podcast.
Yeah, they're really hard to get to. You have to go through agents and shit with them.
You got to get them before the show airs. That's the problem.
Yeah. But I mean, with the Circle. Yeah, That is something we could definitely try. And with like the CBS the challenge, like we already, thanks to Frankie, we've already talked to Kyland, like, you know, to come on because Frankie happened to meet him at his job. So already making connections. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I even like the CBS the challenge, because if I'm not into it, I'm not going to care to talk to anybody from it. Because I'm going to be like, I don't know what to ask you because I didn't even watch. So back to our favorite challenge, All Stars. We dive into the daily challenge for the day, and it's called Sidetracked. TJ reveals that the 6-person authority is gone. Thank God. It should have never been that many.
I knew you were going to be happy when I was watching it. I was like, Nadine's going to cheer this.
Absolutely. That being gone. And my favorite aspect of the challenge has always been whoever's voted in gets to call out who they want. That will always derive the most drama, and nothing changes the game more. Anytime that a loser gets to call out who they want, will always make
100% agree.
It makes whoever they pick that much more great. Or they'll pick somebody who they shouldn't pick, and it make you feel like, well, if you have such a problem with this person, you had an opportunity to go at them and you missed. I love it. It's my favorite part.
I like it too. I enjoy the twist. The last person does not automatically go in. The whomever is going to be the top 2 winners of the day, one guy, one lady, they will choose the 2 people that go into the arena, and then those people will turn around and choose anybody except those top 2 players that they want to go against in the elimination. I love it. I'm here for it. It just makes it go a step up. Main show, take note.
Well, it's a whole other level of thinking too, because then you have to worry about, you know, if I throw this person in, they're going to pick this person, blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot to, for them to like think about.
But my favorite part, I think that's great for eliminations, but my favorite part of the challenge, even more so than the challenges themselves, is the mad scramble in between after daily and right before voting, and the shit that people will go through in between. That is the heart of the show. That is the biggest draw of the show. That mad scramble. That's where the skull challenge took a lot of that out, and it really removed a big part of the show. And that's why a lot of people even couldn't put their fingers on it. Just like, I'm just not feeling that. I just don't like it. And that was the main reason why. That mad scramble, what will somebody do to stay out of elimination? It's one of the best things they ever come up with.
I agree. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
So in the daily, it's essentially there is a board for every person, and you have to throw rings on your opposing people's board. It's like a weird game of ring toss and running. And the goal is to not have all your rings put on your board. Like, because whoever is first is the first one out. So it's just it's like more like an endurance game and a little bit of strategy. You know, you're going to.
It shows your hands.
Yeah, it shows
100%. This was the perfect daily to have after dropping that twist on how the voting was going to come, because some people, you know, were just playing to be playing, and some people took, if you threw a ring on their board, they took that shit personally.
Yeah, they did.
And it also it also separated some of those lines, who's with who, and you can tell very much. This is, I know a lot of times we get on production or the challenge guys about some of the decisions they make. And you know what? Sometimes they are spot on with some shit. And this is one, they have been spot on so far this episode.
Yeah. I agree with that. Totally agree. And the sabotage is you can go ahead and place a ring on anybody's board, so that person automatically is at a disadvantage. Kayla, no surprise, chooses Beth. I did think she was going to go for Kellyanne, so I'm surprised she chose Beth, but she did. And Brad sabotages it on MJ. I think he should have done Jordan. It's my opinion. You know, let MJ go to a final with you. He's injured.
Yeah. You would think that.
I think, though, they might be a little scared. MJ has always been a bigger guy. He's always been a pretty decent competitor and a champion. And now with his second one with All Stars, I think even with the knee, MJ's still a threat, because he has a good.
Probably Brad's thinking, you know.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Brad, because while watching most of this episode up until this point, I'm thinking Brad I'm like, oh, here comes paranoid Brad. Brad's being so paranoid. And it comes out later, he did kind of have a point. Y'all let Mark win. If you would have just let Brad win, at least he's safe while still, is the same target. And so, the whole time it's like, man, fucking look at Brad, man. He's always so paranoid when he plays these things. And it turns out he was actually a little right in how he felt. Because when he sat down Wes later on in the episode to talk about it, once again, I'm still thinking like, here goes paranoid Brad.
I get where he's coming from, though.
Yeah, it didn't make sense at the time, but as it plays out, he definitely hit it on the nose.
I would still target Jordan first because
100%.
MJ may be a big dude, but Jordan is a whole nother level and does not have a knee injury.
No,
but they target MJ. They're going along with this West plan because his alliance decides we're going to let Mark win. Would you have gone along with that if you were Derek and Brad?
So at the time, it seemed like a perfectly fine idea. Nobody hates Mark.
Right.
But at the time, I'm thinking Brad is just fucking complaining. But if we're going to target MJ, and at this point, did they know that the losers will be calling people out? Or did they find out after the challenge?
So TJ, I think, did say that whoever goes into the arena gets to choose their opponent. But I don't remember if he said, like, if he specified it, the last person goes in automatically, or like the winners have to choose the person who goes in. But I'm pretty sure he did say, or at least the voiceover said.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think on paper, it seems like a fine idea. Nobody hates Mark. It's a lot of heat, and it's not on you. You don't have to make that decision. And for Wes, that's very beneficial. Brad, I think he started feeling the heat because we're going to target MJ. And if I'm in a position where he gets to call somebody else out or whatever, I'm numero uno, the number one pick. But I will say it's bitching a little bit because, dude, you did go after MJ. You fired the first shot and continue to pour it on. You might just have to answer for that. So I think more than one thing could be true.
It's very tough because you asked, would you go along with it? I almost feel like, because I know it's halfway, but it still seems so early in the game. You don't want to piss the people that you're in an alliance with off at that point either. So it wasn't really hurting anything to go along with it in this case, I guess. But I also get where Brad felt, slighted. So
very true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do unless I was in that situation.
Yeah.
The easiest thing,
and talk all day long, but I have no idea.
The easiest thing is what Brad did. Go along with the group and don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
Well, the guys are up first. And I do love Jordan's commentary. That's as fuck, boy. That's as fuck.
I hate every time he makes me laugh or chuckle.
I
hate myself just a little bit.
I was laughing so
I was laughing. I hate it when he's relatable and funny and entertaining. Like, fuck you. Yes. I hate you. Stop making me feel so good about this episode. But it was fucking hilarious.
Coming over to the Jordan side.
I will never come over to the Jordan side.
Neither
but like I said, I can take a joke.
Yeah. Same here. I can admit when they make me laugh. Same. I'm not a Bananas fan, but I can appreciate when he makes me laugh or when he does something smart.
All 3 times in the season.
Yes, exactly. But I still am not a fan at the end of the day.
Even the worst people might have a glowing moment.
Yeah.
A broke clock is right at least twice a day.
Exactly. Exactly. So MJ is obviously targeted first. He's like super butthurt about it. And I'm just like, oh, now you know how Kendall feels.
Right.
Even though she also kind of had it coming too.
I love Kendall.
I love Kendall, but throwing in MJ wasn't a great idea. No,
it wasn't a great idea. But like, they apparently to her face, they made it sound like, oh, it's okay. Like, that I was going to lose anyway because I can't put all that weight on my knee. But then like in confessional, he's like, I'm fucking pissed off and I can't believe she did that. Wah, wah, wah.
And then John A's all
stop
like,
crying.
You mess with my man.
Can't believe she did that.
Those two. I can't wait till we get on that.
Oh yeah, we're getting there.
Oh, yeah.
We're definitely
We gotta
getting
talk
there.
about that.
Yeah. So Jordan decides to team up with MJ to target Brad because everybody else is paired up together targeting them. Yes focuses on Wes's board. Wes is butthurt about it. It makes me laugh. MJ gets taken out first, no surprise. Jordan is targeted next. And then Brad starts to get frustrated because he's like, this plan of Wes's is kind of hurting my own game. And ultimately, it's about who wins at the end of the game. And we know the future. But anyway, so he is frustrated. I do enjoy Jordan's commentary so far this season, just even sprinkled through the daily. Like we said, I hate when he makes me laugh or says anything I enjoy. But whatever, it's fine. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of forgot Nehemiah was here.
Yeah, not a lot of time this episode. I'm not even sure where he placed. You know,
he was like third.
He plays pretty late, but not getting a whole bunch from Nehemiah. And is that maybe because we don't have the whole King's Palace with us?
Probably.
Oh,
And I think Wes has taken a lot.
Yeah,
I love the role he
still
played last season.
people.
Loved it.
Yes, I love Nehemiah in season 2.
Well, I guess I
So-
think there's still too many people. Like, I mean, we've barely seen Nia. We haven't seen much of Ronnie at all.
Yeah.
So I
Seems to
think
be the
as it
same 4
dwindles
people.
down, we'll see more of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows what they're editing out. Mark ends up winning. Shocking.
Shocking. Even though Brad tried it, he tried at the end. At the end, he was like, "You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna go for it."
Yeah.
He tried too late.
Yeah, he tried too late. If he would have did that just maybe about 15 minutes sooner, he could have had a chance. I would have loved that shakeup to see how that shaked out.
I agree.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
So the women are up next. Beth targets Kayla. Duh. Everybody targets Beth. Duh. Again, why the fuck don't they target Janae?
And this is the frustrating part. All right, even at this point in the game, they're a crew and they're all working together with the Treehouse. Anybody who's not in the Treehouse, we need to be working towards the same goal then. Because it's the only, and you're still going to lose, but it's your only chance at survival. Yeah, and I feel like it's not taken seriously enough. And it's frustrating because it doesn't have to be this way. It's like you have to put in yourselves in these situations to get picked off.
And at this point, the numbers are even. The Treehouse only has 4 members. And the non-Treehouse ladies, there's 4 of. And to be fair, there are an equal amount of ladies on both sides that are kind of dead weight. So it's not like one side is a powerhouse over the other. But
exactly,
like Nia was saying, like they just aren't becoming cohesive. So Veronica, Kayla, Sylvia, and Ronnie are taking all of them out because they're all working by themselves instead of together. It's stupid.
And here goes something they didn't even think of. Not everybody in the Treehouse is 100% Treehouse. People like Ronnie, people like Derek. If you can turn one of them, the whole game changes.
Agreed. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, this is way easier doing from the comfort of my home, watching an edited version of this.
And I'm gonna be honest. I think Veronica would turn her back on them if somebody came to her with the right,
especially
or whatever.
Especially with Jimmy gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, she can be turned if she sees a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep, but they're just not playing that kind of a game, unfortunately. And no surprise here, Beth gets taken out first. Nia is not doing what Janae and the Treehouse are doing. She's like, I'm not trying to prejudge somebody that everyone says I should hate. I don't even know the lady.
Nah, it's a challenge. Judge people, find them guilty, and sentence them.
Oh, God.
Put the high horse shit away. And there's no place here in the challenge.
So after Beth, obviously Kellyanne is the next target, and she's in turn trying to target Kayla because nobody else is putting rings on that girl's star. Ronnie targets Janae because she noticed that Janae and even Nia had thrown rings onto her star. So she went, okay, I see you. And she takes out Janae.
Which is actually a little impressive and in her own right. But at the same time, this is just all going to be the result of the other people not working together and being scattered.
Yep. exactly. I absolutely agree. And of course, the Treehouse are the last 4 ladies left. Sylvia is the one who ends up winning. But all the Treehouse ladies are safe, at least from being automatically placed into the arena. But of course, nobody's safe except Sylvia from getting called out to the arena. So now the authority has to pick one guy and one lady to go automatically in. They pick their opponent. I like this twist.
Same. Me too.
Love it. Love it.
They should have this on more seasons more often, in my opinion.
Yes. And I do understand the need to shake it up. But you know what? If you're having a season and halfway through the season, you're not getting the drama you need for this show, that's what you do. You keep it in your back pocket to bring it out. It'll heighten shit up real quick. And you know what? And when they go on their little club night, you can see the change.
Yeah, because speaking of, they go on their night out and they're all depressed.
Nobody did anything.
I would be partying.
Having fun.
I'd be like, fuck it. I'm still going to get drunk and dance.
So
what if it's my last time?
Something came to me when I was watching Club Night. And, you know, Mark and you know, they're going around, they're asking, you know, who do you want? What would you do if you were picked? And MJ says straight up, I'm going after Brad. I'm going after Brad. I'm going to, and I don't think that was a bad move at all. I would have did him one better. I would have said, if I was MJ, to say, if you get voted in, who you going after? I would say Wes. I'm going after Wes. Because then Wes will move fucking mountains to make sure you are not picked to go in. Who are you picking? 100% Wes. Wes is the only person I want. I'm going after Wes. Wes.
Nobody's thinking that way.
No. And like I said, it's easy to do that from here. But yeah, if you say Wes will make sure you're not getting voted in at all. He may come out to you a little bit later on, but it buys you a week.
Well, that's what I was saying before, is it adds that extra layer because, like, for the Treehouse, they have to be careful who they pick to go in because of which one of them is going to get chosen. So
100%. And you know who would be the wrong choice? Beth. Beth is fucking perfect. Beth is a gift. You keep her around as long as humanly possible. She's not going to win a daily. She's not going to win any eliminations. She is a buffer for when you get late in the game and you absolutely have to put somebody to go in. Or if you're in a situation where you have to go in, you got somebody easy to take out of. Best case scenario, she goes with you to a final and she's third place. You keep Beth around as long as humanly possible.
Yep.
I agree.
Just like on Survivor, you want to take the people you can beat. You know, to the end.
Exactly.
Speaking
the
of
gift
Beth,
that keeps on giving.
Speaking of Beth, so Mark and Sylvia call her on over, you know, club night out. Hey, Beth, you know, if you get put in, who are you going to call out? Beth goes, John A. or Kayla. And Sylvia goes, oh, why? She's like, I don't trust her because she's a cheater. She's cheating on her husband. And Mark and Sylvia are like, what? And John A. hears her name. She gets up, sits right next down to Beth. She's like, I heard my name. And they have a little bit of a duking out. And then John A. stomps away, goes over to MJ, tells him what Beth said. He's all pissed off. What are our thoughts?
Okay. Besides Beth saying that, do we have any proof that they actually hooked up?
Other than body language? No.
Right.
Well,
okay.
Yeah. So for me personally, all the closeness in the videos and everything, him laying on the couch with his arm on her leg, her braiding his hair, all that's very intimate. So even if they never slept together, I feel like if you are married and if they had a good marriage, we don't even know. They might have, her and her husband might have been on a break or he gave her a hall pass. We don't know. That's very, you just don't do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a good marriage, you don't do that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And you're right. Those are very, that is very intimate actions.
Yeah.
Now, my problem with Beth is, and just judging from what I've seen from her on TV, there's nothing to suggest to me that Beth is a good human being. She seems like a overall bad person. No, I mean, all the way back to like, just all the way back in the day. Nothing suggests to me that this is a good person. Even if what she says is true, that is not a reason to go after somebody in elimination. And the reason why I feel strongly about this is
I agree.
you took it to a real serious level. People's marriages, some of these people have children, their finances are intertwined. To use this, like I would segue this, I would put this against what Paulie did. When he told Brittany, he's like, I'm going to use this, to fuck with Brad when I go in the house. He stated on TV very clearly, this isn't true. I'm using this to fuck with Brad. Beth didn't offer that. She didn't say, she's like, I'm just trying to shake up the house. But you didn't flat out just say that I'm making this up. Or I'm just inferring this and this isn't true.
Or
and
I'm repeating a rumor.
Right. This has real world ramifications.
I agree.
Real world ramifications. And to be, like I said, Paulie, he said on TV, I'm going to use this to fuck with him. And he said it in his interviews. He made it very clear, this isn't what happened. I'm using this as psychological warfare. And she didn't do the same. And that makes it really, really nasty and really, really ugly because there's children involved. There's people, real marriages involved.
Yeah.
And she could have had a very big effect that we may not be fully aware of. I didn't like that.
No, I agree.
Well, a lot of people
just like she's prettier than me and I don't like her.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And then and I hated that she mispronounced Johnny's name. Like, you've been on
that wasn't done. It wasn't accidentally. 100%.
It was on purpose.
Janae. Like,
what?
I think it was on
she
purpose.
knew. She knew.
Like, come on. Like, and I like how Johnny like immediately was like Johnny.
And she still said it wrong. She was totally doing that.
100%. And those are those microaggressions we be talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Microaggressions and dog whistles. We keep telling you guys, we know what they are. Like when you say this, we know what you're really trying to say. When somebody says like, oh, what about Chicago? Just say black people. We know what you're talking about. It's like we can tell. So when somebody says this is my name and how you pronounce it, and you continuously mispronounce it, we know what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
It on purpose.
Did anybody else in the cast though confirm or say, because there was one scene where Johnny went up there and hugged MJ, and you could see the look between Nehemiah and Nia. They were like,
I think the closeness is noticed, but nobody said that this is true. Is it always?
I don't think anybody's going to, because again, this isn't boyfriend and girlfriend. This is husband and wives, or even in MJ's case, he may be divorced, but he's got kids that are old enough to see this and may ask questions. So I don't think anybody's, and people like Johnny too much to confirm it.
Outside of all of that, do you guys think that they hooked up?
I think they could have very well had an emotional affair.
Malik?
So only because I don't know the timelines of things, because you don't know because what I hear, I think maybe I'm not 100% sure, but I heard on MJ's side, him and his significant other called it quits before the filming.
Yes,
and
he was already single.
He was single.
Stuff could have happened in between filming, or maybe even segue in last season.
Supposedly it happened after All Stars 2.
Right,
because there's only a 6-week timeline between the final of All Stars 2 and filming of All Stars 3. Is
it possible? Absolutely. And the emotional part definitely makes sense. There's obviously a bond there. And it's necessary, and it's obvious there's a bond, and it is intimate. Now, if there's any betrayal involved in that, that's on the parties involved. From what I can tell, I can't confirm nor deny, but it does look like a strong, intimate bond. And if I'm any one of their significant others, I would definitely want clarification. Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. I'm friends and I'm cool with a lot of people who live a lot of different kind of lifestyles. And for some people, where that line between me and one person is, might not be where their line is. Yeah. That's on them to decide.
That's what I said. We don't know what her situation is.
Check this out. That is okay that we don't know. It's okay that we're not all up in this shit.
We want to know.
I know we do want to know. We're terrible. But I think that I would say that there's a strong emotional bond that with their significant others would require clarification. Do I think they boned? Probably. They probably did. But there's no proof. There's no proof. If they did, they kept on the low. There's no proof.
I mean, we're all naturally nosy.
We have to react, and our actions have to be based on that they did it, because we don't have the proof.
Yeah. Right. And I'm never ever going to ask them, obviously.
If they didn't have significant others, they would be a really cute couple.
I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
so too.
I think
I
so,
think so
too.
too.
But they're not for now. Obviously, they deny having the affair in the
They denied,
confessional.
and I'm going to choose to believe them at this time.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
the only reason, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons I think they did was because she and her husband did separate right after that, but then they got back together. So that's
Right.
interesting. That's interesting.
Very
So
interesting.
who knows? They could have been on a break. Things could have been confusing. They could have came back together. Who knows?
Yeah.
And unless she ever tells us this is all we have to go off of,
Bottom
it
line,
is what it is.
wasn't Beth's business.
No, it wasn't her business to announce it on the show and
No.
force
But
it to be
don't we
addressed.
expect that from her though? I mean,
You would think that at her age, that sort of thing, she wouldn't bring on the show.
Yeah.
Beth?
Yeah. You would
I mean,
hope.
She's 50 years old.
I'm almost 50.
Yeah,
What does
but
that
I don't
mean?
think you would do
Hold on,
it.
I would
what
not
happened?
like. I was excited to see her on when she came back to All Stars. I was like super jazzed, but I realized she hasn't changed. She's the same person. What is that they say? A leopard doesn't change its spots. That's Beth. She's a leopard. Her spots didn't change.
Oh, they definitely do not change.
Yeah,
They didn't change on Homecoming.
exactly.
They're not
So why would
changing
we
here.
expect any different? You know that Beth sits in the background and is like,
Yeah, and the fact that she revels in that, like that is just so fucking problematic. And this is why I say, from what I can tell, from what I've seen on TV, there's nothing that says to me you're a decent person or a decent human being.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I always despise Beth.
Yeah,
Now-
she
now I
enjoys
wanna
the
enter-
villain too much. Would
A
you say?
villain is one thing, but man, that level of it really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She takes it to a whole nother level. So then we pan over to Mark telling Brad, like, MJ said if I put him in, he's gonna call you into the arena. And Brad's like, I don't care, I'll go in. He cares. He's pissed because he feels like Wes's plan has put him in this position.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Right?
Not wrong. And that's when it started to make sense to me a little bit why he felt the way. Like earlier in this episode, I'm like, oh, Brad's being paranoid, he's bitching, he's moaning, da da da. And then we get to this point, it's just like, oh, now I see what you're saying.
I get it, right?
Him not winning keeps him not safe, and he is pretty much the obvious first choice. It's more not even so much that Wes's plan put him in the position, is that I think a big problem, and I think he's not saying it, is that Wes's plan didn't really consider him or his position.
No.
And that's what he's angry at. And when you look at it through that lens, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But Wes rarely plans anything with anyone else in mind except himself.
Which is why what happens next was shocking.
Yes. Which we will get to.
Yeah.
Because Brad and Mark the next day decide to have a convo with Wes, and Brad tells Wes, I'm not happy with how things turned out. Like, I followed your plan. I put my ass on the line for you in the authority multiple times where I refused to say your name, or like I saved you from being a name, which we have seen. He's like, I put my neck out on the line for you, and then I followed this plan that sees me now being in a position of vulnerability that realistically I may not have ever had to be in, because I may have realistically won if we didn't have that plan. And now MJ's threatening to call me out. And shockingly, Wes is like, well, if you want me to go in to solidify that, you know, this friendship is real for me, I'll do that. And he's fucking serious.
I'm not gonna lie, my jaw dropped. I was like, holy shit. That
mine
just happened?
Mine didn't. This was, first off, this whole entire moment was actually really, really lovely and some great TV. But for Wes, this was almost perfect for him. Perfect for him to do. One, I believe Wes meant everything. I think Brad had a legitimate gripe. I think Brad was actually right. Your plan didn't really consider me, and you didn't really consider the harm that it specifically put me in. Not that your plan was bad, but your plan kind of shitted on me when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
He was right. Wes admits to this and puts himself up. He offers himself up, which I thought was very telling. I think he does value this relationship that he has
Yeah.
And he's willing to put himself at risk, which says a lot about what kind of person he is. And he didn't even boast about it. He was just like, if this is what you need to know, I'll go ahead and do this. Now, this is where Wes's intelligence comes into play. This is absolutely the best time to do that. Because now you're going in. One, you're buying yourself a lot of social currency. You're letting everybody know this is the type of person I am. Everybody's going to remember that you stood up and you did the right thing, even at the dereliction of yourself. And that says a lot. It says I'm loyal and I'm willing to do what it takes. Two, we're still kind of early-ish in the game. You got a wide range of people to pick. And the best person for you to pick is one working against you, never been in an elimination, and you can probably beat him in a lot. This worked out in Wes's favor a lot, and Wes did enough to recognize if you put all of this stuff together. I mean, once I saw this episode, I was just like, yeah, he's probably going to win this whole thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Wes won this whole thing. Somebody will have to call Wes out, and who the fuck is going to do that now? I loved it.
So if it was later in the game, situation happened with Brad, his friend, would he have done the same thing?
No, way less people to pick.
Yeah,
most likely he's going to have to pick somebody who he has a long relationship with. He's got to pick a Derek. He's going to have to pick a Mark. He's going to have to pick a Nehemiah or a Brad. These will affect him. Hey, when it's all said and done, you still win against one of us, or you had to pick one of us. This is perfect for him.
Yep.
Yes, isn't even the only Jordan. No, you got to be smoking the finest brand of crack. Just go and call Jordan out. And the fucked up thing is, even with Jordan, even if you pick an obvious two-handed situation where you might need, he might still beat you.
He still might beat you,
yeah.
It doesn't guarantee a victory. Fucking this guy.
I'm not gonna lie though, I was still pretty shocked that Wes did that, to be honest.
He was so calm about it that I knew. I was like, there's something more to this than just doing a favor for a friend.
The second he woke up, he analyzed the situation. How can I keep this side happy, keep myself safe, and propel myself forward? Well, what is that path?
Wes plays chess, not checkers. Like, 5 moves ahead of you. So
you do some shit like this for a person, they'll trust you to watch their fucking kids. Wes has capitalized on this situation in every avenue that was able to be capitalized. He does have this risk. There is legitimate risk. You're going to have to go into elimination. You never know what the fuck you might pull.
That's true.
You know,
absolutely.
I agree.
They could have said it's going to be a polite competition. Wes will whoop his ass. Yes, will whoop his ass in it. So it was lovely. Lovely TV.
It was. And when Mark and Sylvia get together to decide who they're going to put in, Mark obviously goes with Wes. Wes volunteered himself. And Sylvia chooses John A. because John A. volunteered herself. Because John A. knows if Beth gets put in, Beth might pick me. And I would rather go in and pick my opponent just in case.
Yeah.
See, wrong. It worked for Wes, doesn't work for John A. Wes was low risk, high reward. And for John A, is high risk, low reward. I would have told, if I was John A, I would have been like, you don't know who I might pick at all. I'm giving you nothing. Pick Beth. Beth might go after John A, but John A just won. There's a good chance she might flip. Take your fucking chances. If I'm John A, first thing I would do is just say, all reality, Beth has been pissing me off. She said some wild shit, but why go after her? She looks really, really easy. I think my best bet is going after somebody strong. Maybe a fucking Kayla or Veronica. Veronica has some age on her. I feel like there's some things I could beat her at. I think Veronica is going to be who I want. Now that works out for you. Because if you pick Beth...
Didn't Veronica say something like that, though?
Yeah.
Did she say something like that about,
And she was right to see it coming. And if I was John, I would win it, I would have said Kayla.
Veronica, I don't know. I mean, we haven't really seen competition wise what she's got going on. That girl, her brain is working.
100%. Veronica may be washed up. She can't do the things that she used to do, but her brain is in game mode with the best of them. With the best of them. I feel
John
like
A showed her hand.
Showed her hand. there was a lot of different ways for her to play it. And you know what Johnny should have done? She should have went to West. West, if you're in my position, how would you play this? That's probably would have told her something similar. Put yourself in a position where you can instill some fear, where your name, you think Beth is going to be unpredictable, become more unpredictable. Okay, who you going to pick? Don't even say Beth. Say, oh, it's going to be between Veronica or Ronnie. One of those two.
Yeah.
There you go. But she doesn't.
Yeah. Armchair detective. It's easy to figure this shit out.
See, you be good on this.
When you can
challenge.
pause and analyze, rewatch. So we do get to the elimination. It's called knockoff. It's like this platform with like these giant cushion, round button pushy things,
Boring.
pegs, or whatever.
We've seen something like this before, and it was boring then.
So
Yeah.
boring.
It's definitely an endurance thing. No surprise, John A chooses Beth as her opponent. No surprise, Wes chooses Yes. Yes continues to irritate Wes with his mantras.
It's funny.
Wes just like, you're so full of shit. I hate you, but not really. So the women go first. Essentially, you have to hit these circle pegs to knock your opponent off the ledge. John A and Beth first. MJ is talking John A through it. This is definitely one of those eliminations where, like, I know it's so often in the past where it's not uncommon for the peanut gallery to shout helpful tips to those in elimination, but this is one of those eliminations where I wish they couldn't, because
I
it can
almost
create
wish they
an
would
unfair
just make
advantage.
a rule that you can't do that, because
Yeah.
Nope.
yeah.
Love it. Love
Do
it.
you?
One, it's fair. It is very fair, because how you treated people in the house overall and how the house feels about you overall can come into play. You can have a home court advantage depending on how you are viewed amongst your peers.
But
And to me, that makes it
do
fair.
on your own merit. Don't have someone that's seeing the whole big picture helping. I mean, who, I don't remember who it was. What was it was one a while back. They were doing something.
Total
and,
madness.
Everybody
when Wes
was down
helped Wes
there
was
helping
saying,
D.
do this, and
Mhm.
the other person had no one. Like, I don't know. I don't like that.
It is home court advantage. If your side wins the All-Star game in basketball, you get to have home court advantage in the NBA Finals. And that matters. It mattered in almost any other competition aspect, every other sport. There is that advantage. Where are you playing? How do the people where you're playing feels about you? It's more realistic than it is not.
I get if they can cheer for the person, but not tell them which moves to make.
I'm willing to show some deference in there. It can't feel that way. But at the same time, and I'm willing to give some grace there that you may be somewhat right. At the same time, Beth, you may have had it coming. The person who's yelling the loudest and helping you out, you fucked with their fucking real life.
So I don't.
Pardon him.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Pardon him. He feels some kind of way and wants you to go home.
Well,
I'm sorry, MJ. You seem to have a lot of feelings about this Beth person.
he
Like,
got
no
his
shit.
wish, so
I always say that to somebody I want to antagonize. Like, looks like you're having a lot of feelings right now. I'll give you a second to deal with them. Nothing pisses off a man more faster than that.
I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. Put that away in the bank. So the next time someone irritates me.
At work, if people are yelling at me, I'll just let them talk, and then I'll go, "Are you done?"
Yeah. Got a lot of feelings
like
you have to work through. Yeah, they don't like that. The fact is, this elimination is going on, and Beth ends up quitting over the fact that, MJ is helping her.
Yeah,
and she says something. Fair. She said something that really stuck with me. She said, she was talking about how it's not fair. And she says, this game has become nasty and I'm not interested in playing anymore. And I was just like, you fucking bitch. Why is this game nasty? You made it nasty. You made it nasty. How fucking dare you?
It that way.
How the fuck dare you take an alternative spot of somebody else who wanted to be here? And the second a little bit of pressure is on, this game could become nasty. I have no interest in playing. And then when TJ was sending her off, her trying to play it up like, oh yeah, it's the heights.
Yeah, it wasn't even that high.
I would never, ever want to see Beth on my TV again. I'm done. Done. So it's nasty.
I'd be okay if she didn't.
Is
come
it?
back.
How did we get here?
Though,
So-
to be fair, Beth was originally on the main cast and became an alternate because of her temper tantrum. So technically, she did give the alternate the better chance, aka Sylvia.
That's true.
Malik's
So
like,
here's
I
the
don't
deal.
want to hear it.
I too am deathly terrified of heights, and I would never have done the building and the math thing.
But the elimination was not
But-
that high.
But this elimination, I would have done it no problem.
Yeah, it wasn't that high. You're on a bungee cord.
No.
You're fine. It's not
Yeah.
that
It
much.
wasn't
of
that
a
high, and they weren't even playing for that long. You got tired. You knew you were going to lose, and you're trying to save face, and it's embarrassing. You're almost 50. Lose gracefully. Lose graciously. It's
I don't
okay.
think she gets embarrassed.
That's
She's good at passing the buck.
that makes a lot of sense, and that's a little fucking sad. That's a little sad.
Yeah, I get secondhand cringe sometimes.
I'm not a Beth fan, and never was.
Clearly.
But you know, I always just try to say, like, it's TV. It's not who they are when they go home and, you know, making waffles for the kids. And I think that she goes home and she probably, I think that she's not, there's no evidence that she is a decent human being.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
And the way she went out is fitting. I'm not even surprised. I'm surprised that a lot of those words she muttered out to make excuses for why she's leaving and how it's unfair. I mean, it was just the most biggest amount of bullshit ever. Even Paulie Calafiore takes more fucking responsibility than that. And I'm disappointed in you, Beth.
Well,
Very disappointed.
all she did was just reiterate how she is. I mean,
Yeah,
it
and
wasn't
you know, that's on us. We knew who
right,
you were before you got
exactly.
Yeah.
here.
like new news that, you know, she went out
Yeah.
the way she did.
This is the scorpion and the frog. Why did you sting me? Sin my nature. Like, why did you disappoint me, Beth?
Exactly.
It's what I
Yes.
do.
It's just what I do. Exactly. So she gets frustrated. She quits. She's out. She's gone. Johnny's here to stay and slay another day. And then we have the ultimate showdown of Wes versus Yes. It turns into an endurance game. Yes is talking a lot of shit, you know, like to pump himself up because he does that.
It got a little
Um,
weird for me.
Yeah, I was cringing a little bit because you could tell that's not what he normally does.
No.
And that was very telling. This is your first elimination, and it looks that way. Even though I thought he performed pretty well.
Because it went on for a long time.
It went on for a long time.
Yeah.
And the thing about these kind of eliminations is people lose not because they lose their footing or whatever. They fucking quit at some point. It's really a mind thing. Derek versus Joss. Oh, Joss accidentally stepped out and didn't turn around fast enough. We get it. You were done. You were done. Oh no, I lost on this technique. We get it, man. You were done. We got you. You save a little bit of face doing it that way, but you knew the rules. And this was kind of it. Like, you're not just going to lose this like that. It's the pushing isn't going to get that job done for you like that. The other person has to say at some point, like, I'm ready to fall off. That's why I love these kind of eliminations.
I thought it was boring.
It can be. It can be, but the draw that they're relying on is the battle of wills. See, the thing with Josh and Derek, it had the violence to go along with it. But at the same time, it still was the battle of wills that took precedence at one. Because at some point, somebody got to just says, I'm ready to lose. And then they're going to lose. And to me, I really, really love that. But I definitely hear what you're saying. Physically, it wasn't that appealing. Should have been a crazy 8. That would have been great.
I will say, I thought
good.
it was a toss-up as to who would win, though, because, you know, I mean, Wes is not Wes. Yes is Wes.
No slouch.
Yes is no slouch. So,
Mm-mm.
I mean, he could have beaten Wes. Wes
Absolutely.
overall. So
Absolutely. I think Wes, being for the fact that Wes was on that season of War of the Worlds where they played this game last, I think he knows a little bit about how this game was going to work out. And he had a much better strategy going into it too. But my favorite part that I really, really love, and I know the challenge isn't the best place for that. I love good sportsmanship and rivalry camaraderie, which means like a respect between rivals. I thought Yes lost graciously, and
Yeah.
Wes also won very graciously. He won like a champ. Didn't rub it in his face. Yes, didn't make excuses.
Right.
He lost like a gentleman, and Wes won like a gentleman. He could have rubbed it in his face. He could have talked a whole bunch of shit. He did. She could say, "Good game," and I have a lot of respect for that. I played, I did wrestling in high school and college. I did football in high school and college, and I hate sore losers. And actually, I would say that about Jordan too. Jordan doesn't lose very often, but when he does, he tends to lose graciously. And I always kind of appreciated that. So I really appreciated seeing Yes do that. And I'm glad West didn't use this as the time to rub it in his face and be an asshole about it.
Same.
And I like that.
I agree to that. I really agree. Though I am still sad to see Yes leave. I still really enjoy Yes.
I think Yes is perfect for All Stars. Just perfect.
Yeah.
He's
I
old,
agree.
but he's still fit. He still knows how to play the game.
Mhm.
Don't always agree with his strategies, but he's not coming to fuck around. I hope we do see Yes again.
Me too.
Me too. I agree to that.
I hope we keep getting all stars.
This
Same.
Yes and West thing could really form into something pretty cool because if Yes just picks up on some of his challenge social gameplay a little bit more,
Mhm.
this could turn into something really interesting. And then
I
you got
agree.
a situation of Yes pulling a whole bunch of all-stars, and maybe West leans on this newfound, fucking circle jerk he has going with Johnny Bananas. See how that plays out. There's a lot of potential here.
No, there really
I'm
is.
sorry, can I say circle jerk?
Yes.
Okay.
Of all the things we say on here, and you want to make sure you can say circle jerk.
Right.
I'm sorry. This Jameson bottle has gotten some work put into it over the last hour. So
If that's the worst you're gonna say, you're fine.
as soon as circle jerk comes out, it's like, okay, you've been drinking, sir.
That's nothing. So they give us a quick little preview for next week, and it just basically looks like the rivalries are going to start amping up.
Yeah.
They did this 3 episodes ago. I mean, I'm glad Nia is starting to get pissed. Like I said, not a huge Nia fan, but Hurricane Nia is another thing. I like Hurricane Nia to a certain degree. I think Nia, if used the correct way, could be a very, very important part of getting stories pushed forward. If you need somebody to take it to the next level, grab Nia, give her 3 cocktails, and let's see where this goes. Shit gets pushed forward. And the challenge really could use a lot more of that. Some of the people who they brought on does reality TV, but they haven't done the challenge. The challenge is a very special beast that has not been easily replicated. But we've seen scores of shows come up and try to do what they do. And say what you want about Johnny Bananas, but he's been right. Their casting was the reason behind it. They casted the right person to fill these right archetypes. But they have been evolving, and as they've been evolving, they've been figuring it out as they go forward, as things change. But somebody like Nia checks a lot of fucking boxes.
Yeah.
I love her.
So now that she's back, I'm actually very happy that she's back. I hope they put her in and let her loose. And now that she got this thing with Jordan going on, one of the most divisive challenges that we had in recent memory, the potential is fucking endless. Like I said, I hate the relationship, but I'm so happy to see what may come of it.
Same.
Can you imagine Jordan fucking somebody else in that house? How does Nia react? Oh my God. Oh,
I don't think it'd be good.
Jordan and Kayla actually hooked up last season. How does this play out this season? Jesus fucking Christ.
Wait, what?
No,
Oh, you're
I'm
just making that up. Okay.
The possibilities are
I thought
fucking
I missed
massive.
it.
I was I was trying to think while you're talking. I'm like, wait, did that happen? What?
But if
I
it
missed
did,
that tea.
that would something like that would happen. That would be an event that is felt for 6 fucking seasons, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
The
that's
thing
why.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say that is the reason why I'm so excited to see Nia back.
Yeah, see, I like her. I've liked her since Real World. I know a lot of people didn't, but
I've seen it. I've seen that Portland season. That Portland season has stuck with me for a long fucking time. But also that's why I love Marlon.
Oh, I love Marlon.
Love to see him back.
So sweet.
Same.
Now see, Marlon is a person who I think objectively, like this is a good person, like this is a good guy. Like,
Yeah.
Why don't they
I
bring him
agree.
back? Instead, we have Josh.
I mean, I want to see somebody like Landon. You know, I would love to see. He is a good
I
guy.
love Landon. So up until Jordan, I would have said that Landon is one of the most efficient challengers because Landon was something like, 3 wins in 4 seasons or whatever. And at one point, Jordan was like that too. The problem with Landon is kind of the problem that Wes initially had. Once you get to a certain age, you're older, you're no longer fighting and fucking on camera. Kind of the problem that Derek has now. We all know Derek is an elimination specialist. He's a beast. But Derek is older now. He has a child. He doesn't, that he doesn't want to
He's
act out for.
calmer.
He wants to be a little bit too calm. And as much as we love these people, as well as they can compete, they don't make for great TV.
But don't you
Derek
think
doesn't have
that's
a
what All
storyline.
Stars is kind of about? They're all older.
Yeah, but I still want to
Yeah,
see him compete.
We still need the drama. The drama is just as important as everything else. And like I said, and Derek, who I fucking revere, and who is a great person and a good guy and a great competitor. What's the storyline for this season?
Yeah.
Even last season, his storyline was like, oh, some new guy said he didn't like your floral fucking shirt set.
Your Chubby's outfit.
Chubbies.
Yeah. And that's all we had to really rely on. I mean, and I get it. I fucking get it. Like, I'm older now and I'm boring now. I went to the trendy club out here. We got a table, we got bottle service, everything. And we was there for about 20 minutes, chugged the bottles, like, let's get the fuck out of here. This isn't for us. And that maybe a little bit was going on.
What was it? Just too loud or something?
It was too loud. I was tired when I got there. It's too, I don't know how to do this dance. I didn't do this one before. It's 37 now. It's not for me. It's time to let the kids have it.
My friend and I went to that show last night and got out at 10:30, and I was like, dude, I'm going to bed.
First off, we got there way too early. And then we spent like $700 on fucking bottle service to get this bottle of fucking Casamigos. And like, we just kind of look at each other, we're just like, it's that time. And we just pounded the fucking bottle till we were done and then left. Most expensive bottle of Casamigos fucking ever.
Yeah, so is there anything else going on in the challenge world that we want to talk about? I don't know if Malik has any more cool stories about Ben Affleck or Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith should be releasing the trailer to Clerks 3. We should have a Ben Affleck cameo, but I think there's a big con coming up, and he's hoping to release the trailer for Clerks 3 then. Very excited for Clerks 3. I love Clerks 2. Love the first Clerks. When I turned 37 this year, I kept putting up, hey, how old are you? And I just put up the scene of fucking Brian O'Halloran going, 37? And all my close friends got it, which was really, really great. Kevin Smith has always been one of my favorites. So has Ben Affleck. So actually, I do have a criticism of Ben Affleck. He had a video out, he had a new movie out that was on Hulu, and it has, and forgive me for hacking up her name, I think it's Anna de Armas or something like this.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, she was in the Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Knives Out. She is just, the value of women is not placed on their looks. But goddamn, that is a just objectively beautiful woman. And they were in a movie together, and I was so excited to see it. And I got like 20 minutes into the movie, and I'm just like, I don't want to see this anymore. And I think a lot of it had to do with the subject matter, which I dislike cheating a lot because I've been on the wrong side of cheating.
I don't even know what the movie is because I'm not a Ben.
So it's called Deep Water, and apparently it's actually a pretty decent movie. Got pretty decent reviews, but I didn't like it. Him and the wife is like, they're in an open relationship, but the wife is the only one really participating in the open part. And apparently he starts like killing off these people she's hooking up with. And I got a couple minutes into it, and I'm just like, you know what? This isn't for me. And did not like it. Yeah, even though I love you. For all the problems that it is.
Very toxic
it's a terrible fucking show. But
it's amazing.
Can't take your eyes off of it. Peaky Blinders is coming back on Netflix. Excited for that.
I have tried to get into that before and I never could. So I might have to try again.
Put on subtitles.
have
I get it.
never
You don't know what the
watched it.
fuck they're talking about.
I watch
Put on
everything
subtitles.
with subtitles.
Is
Everything.
that
You know
the
what?
one with Killian Murphy?
Yes.
That one?
If you
I
have
haven't seen
kids,
that.
you watch shit on subtitles. Because with the kids running around in the house, you're like, yep, you'll put these subtitles on. They're not going to be able to hear shit. And you just accept it once you reach a certain age and you're a parent.
No kids. I just
I-
like having subtitles.
I've been catching up on season 3 of The Boys. So,
I love The Boys. I actually read
good.
the Garth Ennis comic book,
mhm.
which The Boys are now to the point, just like The Walking Dead, they get to a certain point, you can only follow the comic book to such a degree. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't realize going directly from comic book to on screen doesn't work. It's two different mediums of storytelling.
Sure.
So kind of like The Walking Dead, they just kind of take their inspiration from the comic and make it work for the screen. Some works to some degree, some isn't. But I've just started season 3 of The Boys. Didn't even finish the first episode, but so far loving everything so far. The Boys have been one of my favorite new shows, and
So
the comic book, just like The Walking Dead, is so much more depraved than the show, which is
That's what
pretty
I've
fucking
heard.
depraved. Yeah,
So
it's
you
wild.
did finish,
If
you
you
did
want, I'll
finish
send you the comic
episode-
book.
you finished episode 1 of season 3?
Didn't even finish yet.
How far did you get into it?
When I got as far as Homelander getting a hand job from the Nazi.
Okay, so you saw
That's a whole.
the-
Can I say all that? That was a whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I
Yes.
guess. I don't know.
We're talking about something that happens on a show. It's not like you're sitting there going,
Well-
you know what? I got a hand job from a Nazi the other day.
So you saw the guy that can make himself small scene.
Yep.
I won't
Termite.
say any more than that. I was like, what?
I was just even better.
I
My
haven't
friend
watched
walked
season
in
3 yet.
and he just looked at me like, "What the fuck are you watching?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, The Boys." And the look of shock on his face just says like, "I made the right decision."
Dude, I was even shocked at that scene. I was like, did that just happen?
But
If you want to pause it, Nadine, I'll tell you what happened.
But it's actually pretty cool though to have a show that can make you feel something, even if it's shock
Yeah.
or disgust. So much cookie cutter and so much formulaic shit comes out. If you got, even if it's a bad feeling, just feeling something with some of these shows is reason
Well,
enough to watch.
I legit was like, I don't know if I can look at Milk anymore after Homelander. I
Mm.
was just like,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
creepy and weird. So, do you want me to tell you what happened?
No, don't tell me because I have to finish
You're
season
gonna watch
2. So
You are
I'm in the
gonna,
process of finishing
like-
season 2.
When you see it, you'll be like, oh damn, I know what she's talking about, because it was wild.
Uh
I would say I'm also really excited to see Top Gun Maverick. I did really enjoy the first Top Gun for all of its themes. But when I went to go see Doctor Strange, they showed like
Love
5
Doctor
minutes of the
Strange.
movie. And yes, you gotta love Doctor Strange. Hey, we're finally gonna have a Latina superhero and give him the power of crossing borders. Great. Like they really foresaw that shit coming.
I
But-
seriously have no idea what that means because I don't watch any of the superhero stuff.
But
even better.
That's a superhero movie, right?
yes, and they
Yeah.
finally have like a female Latina superhero, and she gets to move between dimensions. So her superpower is crossing borders. And I have to specifically be very careful with saying stuff like that because I've been canceled on Twitter before. But
Get
The,
out. Have you really?
yes, for almost making this almost same exact joke. But context, it all matters with context. But they showed 5 minutes of Maverick, and I thought the 5 minutes that I saw were really good. And from what I could tell from the cinematography and the soundtrack and the writing, it looks like Top Gun Maverick is going to be a really good movie.
I've
Every
heard really good
person
things.
that I know that has seen it loved it.
And I like Miles
Yeah.
Teller. Sometimes
Yeah.
Miles Teller is one of the person I'm just waiting for a great reason to despise, but he keeps making pretty decent movies. So it's just like as soon as you fuck up, I'm gonna catch you, and it's just like, all right, keep it going.
Apparently,
So-
the women love Miles Teller in this movie.
I also didn't see Fantastic Four, so I think that's helped make this go for a little bit
I
further.
refused to watch Fantastic Four.
Why bother? I'm a busy man. If I'm going to waste 2 hours of my time, I want to find it to do. I'll take a nap if I have to. I'm not going to dedicate 2 hours.
Same.
It doesn't.
Why? What was wrong with that? I've never seen it.
I hate to
heard it
say
was
judge a book
terrible.
by its cover, but I sometimes you can tell by looking. I was just like, this looks like it's not going to be good.
And the
Okay.
reviews were not good. You know,
And
they're trying to do it again. They're trying to retry to make another Fantastic Four movie.
You know what the thing about the Fantastic Four is? They may not just need their own movie. Put them in the background of the Avengers.
I don't think there's.
put
I
them on a
don't like them
team.
enough on their own.
Have them. The thing about it is the Fantastic Four is amazingly super popular and powerful in the comic books, but they were most popular in 1964 or some shit, 1975. They have not, and they. The thing is, nowadays in the comic books, they have such a strong standing, especially with the Illuminati, because the Illuminati is something that came out, around the time of Civil War and shit, during this whole nother in the mid 2000 renaissance of comic books. So it makes sense why they want to put them out in the forefront, but it's just not working on camera.
No, it
That's
doesn't.
something else.
Give me X-Men.
This is kind of random, but not really. So Anna de Armas, they tried to say that Amber Heard and her were equal in the Johnny Depp trial, which I thought was funny. And also Amber Heard, I read today that Warner Brothers has cut her completely out of Aquaman 2. I read they cut it down to 10 minutes, but now she's totally out.
I'm not on the, super hate Amber Heard trade. It sounds like a bad relationship from both sides.
It's just when two assholes collide.
Right.
But I think she's the bigger asshole.
I'm not on either side. I didn't watch the trial, and from what I hear, Johnny Depp won, right?
He won all of his claims. She won one of hers because it was a civil case. People like to act like this was a criminal case. It was a civil case.
Right.
Two rich people suing each other.
What was the penalty? What was the penalty?
He technically could have won 15 million, but Virginia has a cap on punitive damages, so it was closer to 10 million. She won 2.
Yeah.
Wait, he got $10 million?
Well, the judge awarded him that. She can't afford to pay it.
She doesn't have it.
Yeah, she doesn't have it.
She doesn't have $10 million liquid.
Well, she won the $2 million, and I was just like, well, he can just pledge it to her because she thinks pledging and paying are the same thing.
Same thing. But anyway,
this is that nastiness, and you will hope stuff like that doesn't make it to this level. I'm not on either side.
Watched it,
but
she did.
Listen,
I did.
Once again, from what I've seen, only from these news clips, I don't know her personally. From what I've seen, there's not a lot of evidence to say that this person is a very good person. You may be trash. I don't know. I could be missing something. I don't know everything. But from what I can tell, you ain't shit. But from what I can tell, Johnny Depp ain't that much shit either.
Well, the bottom line for the case, I think, was that she claims she had evidence. She didn't, but he did. So that's what it came down to. But I, as you all know, love horror movies. And she actually did a horror movie that I liked, but I thought she wasn't that great in it. So before she even got with Johnny Depp, I knew who she was, and I already didn't like her. And people even back then, her co-stars didn't like her either because she's a garbage person. So
she's very entitled to me.
None of what came out. I think she just is a pretty girl who was handed everything in her life, and she thought that he should pay up. So
I don't know much about Amber Heard, but taking a dump in someone's bed is just that's
and blaming it on the dog.
Once again, I not said that. Did she blame it on the dog?
Yes.
There's a very big difference between a dog and a human turd. No. So I know I said this a couple of times during this episode, but there's a line that's the line.
That's a big line.
That's a line.
That's over the line. You have hurdled over the line. And
what exactly were the charges in this civil case?
It was all about defamation. So she put out an op-ed saying
the article saying I was abused in Hollywood and I got through it or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, read it. And that was
Yeah.
and that was about Johnny Depp.
And she wrote like some co-op piece in the Washington Post, and that was like in 2018 or 2016, and that was what started it. But then like they had recordings of her saying,
did she? But I don't think she mentioned Depp's name. I think that was a big thing too. Like,
so
she said it like we all know who you're talking about, even though you didn't say it.
But here's the thing: it actually came out in court. So she worked with the ACLU to write the op-ed, right? The ACLU's lawyers, she had his name in it, and they told her to take it out. So all they had to prove was that she did write it about him, even if she says it wasn't. So
interesting.
Yeah. So
the precedence that sets, though.
What's up?
The precedence that sets. I wonder if that's going to be worrisome for other people in journalism who's worried about, stuff like libel and slander.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And also she got caught lying because so she said she didn't want anything from him and she wanted to keep it all low key. But what she did was she would take videos, or she would call TMZ and say, hey, I'm going to be at the courthouse. So she shows up at the courthouse to get a restraining order, right? Well, they found out that she called TMZ and said, I'm going to be coming out of it. There's going to be a mark on my right cheek. I want you guys to film it and get good pictures. And then she got on the stand and said that didn't happen. But the guy from TMZ came on and gave his testimony and said, actually, it did happen.
Anybody who knows how this shit works knows that that's exactly why TMZ gets the kind of stuff that they do.
Exactly.
The publicist calls them in to do it.
What was even funnier is the next day they took pictures, the paparazzi took pictures of her, and she didn't have any marks on her face. So it's fake.
Yeah, I don't think she's a very good person from what I can tell. And
she's
if I see her out in the bar,
actress.
No, she's a terrible actress.
On reality, I really only know her from Aquaman. I don't think I've really seen her in anything else.
She had a tiny bit in Zombieland and Pineapple Express, which are two movies that I love.
She's Never Back Down.
Was she the girlfriend in Pineapple Express? The one I was in high school?
Seth Rogen.
Yes, Seth Rogen's girlfriend.
Yeah. And in Zombieland, she was the neighbor at the very beginning when, what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg. He has to hit her with the toilet seat or whatever. The toilet top.
Right. Not exactly Academy Award winning roles here.
She was in the Rum Diary. I think that's where she met Johnny Depp.
I didn't see that, but I heard that it was really good. And like,
I've never seen that either.
I never seen it.
She was in All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, which was a slasher movie, and I actually really liked it. But she was anybody could have played her role. I feel like it wasn't like she was outstanding. I liked the movie though. So
well, I'm glad this whole debacle is over and people can move on with their lives with stuff that's going to be really important. I don't think either side was really perfect. I hope people can use this as, a reason to treat each other better. Because if not anything, you are how you treat other people. And as I've gotten older, that is something I've taken really to heart. And, I try to put that kind of energy out there. The problem is, even though I'm in management, I still work in retail, and that kills it. Like 20 minutes into my shift, I'll be like, guys, make sure we go out there.
Pretty horrible.
Show love. And like yesterday, the day before yesterday, I almost fought a fucking customer inside the store because I have a mostly female staff. So my female staff would say something, and then somebody would be like, no, I don't know if that's going to work. And then I'll come out and say the same exact thing they said. And like, oh, thank you. She's like, well, how come, they didn't go for it when I said it? I was like, I'm sorry, you just don't have a penis. It's not your fault, but you don't have one. So people don't listen to you like that. Plus, also, when people tend to get really, really mean and nasty towards my workers, they don't do that shit with me. They don't do that with 300-pound, 6'2" Malik. They do that with 4'11", 140-pound, one of my workers. And I dislike that. And that always puts me in what they call a peanut butter mood. Swear to God, that's what they call it. I don't know. I'm 30. I don't know these new kids' lingo.
Peanut butter mood?
If I come in grumpy, Malik's in a peanut butter mood. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, what does that mean?
It means like I'm grumpy or mad.
Like
peanut butter
lumpy
nice.
And crunchy?
Listen, I don't try to make sense of this. I'm 30.
You should ask them.
I don't have the time
them.
for it. I just I accept the shit they say and just keep it pushing.
Just keep it moving.
Because I only drive myself crazy doing it. Are there any other movies or shows?
Yeah. I'm watching The Staircase. It's really good.
I remember the documentary on Netflix. I didn't get into it, but I seen they made a show. I think it's on HBO Max now.
It is. Yeah.
Is it good? Super good?
It is good. I'm on episode, I think I just finished 4, and there's only like 6 episodes. So
should I start off with the documentary or should I start off with the show?
I haven't seen the documentary, so I don't know.
I heard the documentary was like super good too.
I heard
it's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
I think I might start off with the show. I think it might be a little bit more palatable. But there's a documentary on Netflix, and it's a little bit older, but it's called Evil Genius. And I always remember it because there's a case of the pizza bomber. So good. And the way they did it was so good. And I love the fact that everybody was just like,
showed it. I was shocked that they showed it. Yeah.
I think that makes a huge statement. But the fact that it's one of those things where truth is definitely stranger to fiction. Even the FBI was just like, this shit doesn't happen in real life. Like this whole thing, this is a Warner Brothers movie. We don't deal with this normally.
I remember when it happened, and it was a crazy story then. So,
yeah, exactly. Yes. I didn't realize how deep it ran, but it was such a well put together documentary and just so fucking entertaining.
There's one out now. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to. I think it's on Hulu. It's called Captive Audience. And it's a story of a kid that went missing, like, I think it was in like the 80s. And it was huge. It was a huge story. Anyway, they found him. They made a TV show about it. And I think it was called like, I Know My Name is Adam or something like that. I don't know if that sounds familiar. Anyway, so he gets found, but he's famous because, you know, he got kidnapped and they found him, whatever. Well, it turns out his brother is like a serial killer. So you have this great story going on, and then you have like his brother over here murdering people. So
I've heard of that. I want to see that.
What is this on? That sounds right up my alley.
I think it's on Hulu.
I think it's on Hulu.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. That sounds right up the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's called Captive Audience.
Now, Stranger Things. Are you guys on it?
No.
Me. T is too far behind.
I'm so behind.
All right, so I'm not going to go into spoiler territory, but
I don't care.
Kate Bush, you know, the song that she has, which came out. I mean, I think I was just born when that came out, and I'm old, like 35 years ago. It came out like
84.
So I love the fact that everybody is playing this Kate Bush song, which is a great song. And and so I'm actually a Kate Bush fan because you guys ever seen Love and Basketball?
Yes.
The Maxwell song, A Woman's Work.
Yes.
That song is a cover of Kate Bush's song, A Woman's Work.
Wait, Kate Bush's song are they playing in Stranger Things?
Running Up That Hill.
Run Up That Hill, which is a great song. So I'm just gonna say something that I've seen on Twitter and I dislike it.
Did you just say you were born when that song came out?
Yeah, like the song came out like 1985 or something like that.
No, the song came out in like 84, 85.
Yeah. So the song is super old. I'm only a Kate Bush fan. I only know this song because she's the original singer of another one of my favorite songs. Here goes the thing. That song came out like 40 years ago. And then people were so quick to be, oh, you're just not hearing the Kate Bush? I love Kate Bush. Shut the fuck up. Let people listen with new ears. Don't gatekeep a fucking, Kate Bush. Yeah. I hate it when people do that. They all just got introduced because it's on one of the most popular shows on Netflix. Let these people live. Let them live. Let them enjoy it. I'm just happy that people are listening to new music and enjoying it. Let people enjoy stuff that is new to them. All because you listened to them before they were cool doesn't mean fucking anything. Let these people live. Let Kate Bush live and just stop being an asshole. It pissed me off so bad seeing that. Oh, you just so now funny. Listening to Kate Bush? Kate Bush is like 70 now. Leave them alone.
Because a lot of the listeners are young.
Because I grew up on 120 Minutes on MTV. That's just what I listened to, and they would play her on there all the time. I loved her back then.
Right. So. And let me ask you: do you feel the need to make sure everybody knows that you listened to her before the Stranger Things, song came out?
Well, I didn't know it was on Stranger Things because I haven't watched the new season.
Right.
But yeah, I'm going to tell everybody. Yeah.
That speaks to the kind of person you are. Well, I've already liked them, so I got here early. You're just now catching up. Shut up. Just shut up.
I was way cooler than you a long time ago.
God. And let me go to that. The episode came out and Kate Bush went to #1 on iTunes and Spotify. She's going to be number.
I love that.
That's great. I mean, can you imagine some shit you did 40 years ago just now coming back out and being like #1 again? Let them live. Let them enjoy the song. Let them add them to the playlist and move the fuck on. You know, this isn't the hill to die on. No pun intended.
Parents should have been doing their job and making them listen to good music like that to begin with.
100%. My child thinks it's torture now. I'm like, you're going to be very happy in 10 years and you can say you've been listening to Wu-Tang.
That's funny. I love that. I'm very excited though for the 2 new episodes of Stranger Things July 1st.
Very excited. Episode 4, man, and I don't watch a lot of award shows like that anymore, but I think that one is going to rake in some awards. It was a great episode. And the last episode, granted, they rely very much on nostalgia and that kind of stuff, and they lean really into it, but they're at least doing it and making a good show and a great episode because of it. And I think that's one of the reasons why the show is so successful. But it makes me worried about Netflix, though. Very much so.
What do you mean?
These episodes are supposedly be coming in about 30 million an episode. It's not sustainable. I'd be surprised if we get more than one more season of Stranger Things.
They already said that season 5 is the last one.
Well, I feel like
at 30 million an episode, you fucking right it is.
Well, the writers actually said before season 4 was even done filming that they were only going to do 5 seasons because they didn't want.
Amazing. That means they had a complete story and a time to tell it. That's great. That's how you don't get Game of Thrones season 7 and 8. Ozark did something very similar on its 5th season. This is the story. We know where we're going. We know where we're ending. And I feel like it's easier to make a more cohesive and complete story when you have that. Now, we all know, 100 episodes of syndication, and that's why these things go on. It's all understandable. But they're making good TV, but it's also getting too expensive, especially with Netflix, saying for the first time that they've lost subscribers. People
because they raised the fucking money.
They just raised their prices. I got a text like 2 days ago that they're raising it like $2.
Yeah, if they didn't keep raising it, people wouldn't be dropping.
These are facts. So I don't know what the game plan is going forward, but I think we're not going to get a season like Stranger Things that we have now. I think that this is probably going to be the end of an era.
Oh yeah.
For this Prime TV Netflix stuff. All reality, if I'm guessing correctly, and I hope I'm not, they're probably going to have to go the reality TV route. Say what you want about reality TV. Reality TV is fucking inexpensive. Even with the challenge with $1 million grand prize.
They're popular with the circle.
Well, and they also there've been a lot of good shows that they put out, like Santa Clarita Diet. I can love that show. And then they cancel it.
Didn't see it anymore, but Drew Barrymore is just the absolute best.
I know. Like, I want to be friends with her.
They did it with Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
She's never
Didn't watch that either, but I heard great things about it.
Fucking loved it.
What?
And like it weird.
Sabrina.
The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It ended on a weird note because they canceled it.
It was so good though. Oh, God, what a great show.
It really needed another season.
Don't you hate it when shows that you're really into get canceled?
Yeah.
There was a show on WGN called Outsiders, which was about this this family that was on this hill in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I really, really liked the show. And then halfway through season 2, they're like, it's getting canceled. And I didn't even finish season 2. I was like, fuck. There's no sense in getting more emotionally involved in this.
Yeah. That's how I feel. All right, guys. Well, anything else you want to chat about before we wrap it on up?
I just want to say this is always so much fun. I love just
Yes.
coming here and talking to shit. This is always so much fun.
We
Please
love
invite me
talking to
back.
you.
I love
Well, we
coming
love
back to
having
this.
you on here.
I love being
You're
here.
one of our
You
faves.
can come on anytime.
Just send an invite. I'm gonna tell you like I tell all my friends that I'm back in California. I like always invite me out to shit because I'm gonna say no 90% of the time. But once in a while, I'm gonna say yes, and it's going to be fucking epic when I do. So keep inviting me.
Well,
That's
so far
hilarious.
we are 2 for 2 on yeses.
Yes. And this is
Yeah,
so
good
much
luck.
more fun than the last episode. Because the fact, and I don't know if your listeners know this, but the last time I was here, I bullshitted my way through a whole
Yes,
fucking
you did.
episode.
Yes, you did.
And I went back and listened just to see if I did it right. And I'm just like, dude, you're fucking awesome.
It was
So,
so
and this
good.
time I
It
was
was
ready.
good.
So
You
yes,
were
always
ready.
invite me back. This is
You're
very,
just
very fun for me.
professional. That's all.
You are. You're
Oh.
professional.
I like to think I'm professionally full of shit, but it's good to go.
Look,
Thank you guys so much
however
for
it
having
works.
me. Thank
Absolutely.
you guys so much for letting me just talk my shit. I always say we're very lucky because we get to sit around and talk about a dumb TV show, but this is everything to me. This is something, a good energy I get to put out and talk about something I'm very passionate about with like-minded individuals. This is
Same.
the dream.
Yes,
Yay.
absolutely.
Next
And again,
time-
thank you for being here. We love
Next
you.
time, let us know if you're going to bring your Jameson and we'll cheers to you.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll bring like our wine, so it can be.
Yes.
It can be
Yes,
like a
next
whole
time we do
thing.
this in the evening, it's definitely a different kind of feeling. Hard drinking at 2:31 in the in the afternoon
Yeah, no, on a Sunday.
on a Sunday. It's a Sunday. I'm good.
It's a day of rest, and that includes
Yes.
Jameson. Okay.
It's 6:00 somewhere, like Indonesia.
Well, it's 5:22 here, so technically it's happy hour.
Boom, another drunk.
You are good. All right. Well, thanks again, Malik. We will see you later, and this will get posted pretty soon. Thank you to everybody for listening. Don't forget to give us a like, a follow, download, and support. And until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.